Tonight, Assad's palace ravaged. Crowds loot deposed ruler Bashar al-Assad's extravagant home as the dictator flies Syria. South Korea crisis. South Korea's ruling party leader calls for supporting President Yoon's impeachment as party stance. Frustration grows. Weeks of unexplained drone sightings raise fears and frustrations in New Jersey. And beauty in the ordinary. A Japanese artist transforming leaves into intricate works of art, bringing their visions to life. All that and more as World News Tonight starts right now.
This is Derana World News Tonight.
A very good evening and welcome to World News Tonight. We are here to bring you key stories across the globe for this Thursday, and we begin today with the events unfolding in Syria. Over the week, Syrian rebels toppled the Assad regime in a swift and stunning upheaval of power, and now crowds came to see around what was once the palace of longtime dictator Bashar al-Assad.
Former Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad lived in a palace on a hill high above Damascus. Now it's under control of the rebels who overthrew him. Assad and his wife seem to have modern tastes. You are first greeted by the grand atrium, accented by a classic wood-paneled library. Upstairs was for the family only, the apartment where the rebels say Assad lived. All the security was to protect his bedroom, ransacked after he fled. Today, the new interim government said Syria is broke. Cash flow didn't seem to be a problem for the man at the top. Assad lived well as a dictator until it all ended for the man accused of being responsible for the deaths of 500,000 Syrians, all to protect his life of power and luxury.
Moving over to the political turmoil in South Korea, the ruling party has thrown its support behind attempts to impeach embattled President Yoon Suk-yeol over his ill-fated decision to declare martial law that sparked a political crisis and widespread public anger in the country. Ahead of the second impeachment vote against President Yoon Suk-yeol, the ruling People Power Party leader Han Dong-hoon called for the president to be suspended from his duties as soon as possible. When asked by a reporter whether Yoon should be impeached, Han answered yes and there is no other way. Han's remarks came when it had been confirmed that President Yoon had no intention of stepping down early. Han called on PPP lawmakers to attend the impeachment vote on Saturday and cast a vote in order to prevent further confusion. The Middle East is a key air corridor for planes heading to India, Southeast Asia and Australia. But with recent instability in the Middle East, a safety debate over flying over the region is playing out in Europe because pilots there are protected by unions, unlike other parts of the world.
To 4 pilots, 3 cabin crew members, 3 flight security experts and 2 airline executives about growing safety concerns in the European air industry. 9 unpublished letters from unions representing pilots and crews. They expressed worries about air safety over Middle Eastern countries. The letters were sent to multiple airlines, the European Commission and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency in the summer. In late September, an experienced pilot at Wizz Air felt anxious after learning his plane would fly over Iraq at night amid mounting tensions between nearby Iran and Israel. He decided to query the decision since just a week earlier the airline had deemed the route unsafe. According to the pilot, Wizz Air's flight operations team told him the airway was now considered secure and he had to fly it. Days later, Iraq closed its airspace when Iran fired missiles on October the 1st at Israel. In response to Reuters' queries, Wizz Air said safety is its top priority and it had carried out detailed risk assessments before resuming flights. In other letters, staff called on airlines to be more transparent about their decisions on routes. The ongoing tensions between Israel and Iran and the abrupt ousting of President Bashar al-Assad by Syrian rebels at the weekend have raised concerns of further insecurity in the region. Some European airlines, including Lufthansa and KLM, allow crew to opt out of routes they don't feel are safe. But others, such as Wizz Air, Ryanair and Air Baltic, don't. Air Baltic said the airline meets an international safety standard that doesn't need to be adjusted. Ryanair said it makes security decisions based on EASA guidance. Passenger rights groups are also asking for travellers to receive more information.
Meanwhile, Haiti has reopened its main airport after a month-long shutdown. The Haitian Prime Minister's office and aviation authorities announced the reopening of Port-au-Prince to Say-Louverture International Airport.
It was closed on November 11th following an incident in which a Spirit Airlines flight from Florida was hit by gunfire while flying over Port-au-Prince. No injuries were reported, but the attack led to the suspension of airport operations. On the day of reopening, heavily armed police officers set up checkpoints around the airport to control traffic and ensure security. Haiti, often regarded as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, has been gripped by escalating gang violence since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in July 2021. According to the United Nations, nearly 5,000 people have died due to violence in Haiti this year alone.
A short commercial break now, more world news on the other side. On the road to the White House now. Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Christopher Wray has said he will resign before President-elect Donald Trump takes office next month. Wray announced at an internal FBI meeting that he had decided to step aside after weeks of consideration.
The president-elect took to social media on the same day to call Wray's decision a great day for America. Meanwhile, Wray's replacement, 44-year-old former chief of staff to the acting Secretary of Defense, Kash Patel, who Trump tapped for the post on November 30th, said he was looking forward to a smooth transition. Wray was appointed to the role by Trump in 2017, but also led an investigation into Trump over allegations of mishandling classified documents. FBI directors are appointed for 10-year terms to reduce any appearance of political bias.
The Pentagon says spate of mysterious drone sightings in the US are not the work of an Iranian mothership lurking off the East Coast. Dozens of drones have been spotted across New Jersey in recent weeks, including near sensitive military locations in the state and close to President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in the town of Bedminster.
In the skies above New Jersey, trying to get to the bottom of a mysterious wave of SUV-sized drone sightings that so far have proved impossible to identify or to stop. Reports of mysterious drones and lights in the sky are growing. From over the warships of the West Coast to nuclear sites across the West to Langley, Virginia, and most recently to Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey. The Pentagon says there is no evidence the drones are coming from a foreign adversary, but lawmakers on Capitol Hill are demanding answers from the FBI. Those who have sent drones up to give chase, like local sheriff's departments, say they've never been able to see where they come from or where they land. Mine Hill Mayor Sam Morris chased this one down in his car and thinks the military should consider shooting them down. He says 11 drones have flown over a military site in New Jersey recently. And as more people start to look up at the night sky, the FBI is asking anyone with credible video to send them in for analysis. For now, yet another growing mystery in the sky.
Luigi Mangioni's apparent writings are offering some insight into this 26-year-old's motive for allegedly killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Investigators confirmed a manifesto that called out the U.S. healthcare industry as parasitic.
Drama as accused assassin Luigi Mangioni is led into court.
And completely out of touch.
He's slammed into a wall as he yells out a message to America.
And it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people and lived experience.
The outburst comes as many in law enforcement believe Mangioni was captured in the nick of time. He may have been ready to strike again. Cops say a black untraceable ghost gun was found in Mangioni's possession, along with a loaded magazine with 6 9mm rounds and 1 loose hollow point bullet. Mangioni was carrying $8,000 US, $2,000 in foreign currency, and a passport. Also in his backpack, according to police, a 3-page handwritten manifesto confessing to the murder of United Healthcare's CEO Brian Thompson and ranting about other health insurance bosses. These parasites had it coming, he wrote. It had to be done. Mangione was captured as he traveled between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh on a Greyhound bus that stopped for a break at a McDonald's in Altoona. New images taken inside the restaurant show him wearing a blue surgical mask, then taking it off to eat a breakfast of hash brown. That sharp-eyed McDonald's employee called 911, and rookie cop Tyler Fry, just 6 months on the job, responded. Fry says Mangione gave a false name, then started to shake when asked if he had been in New York recently. Realizing it was all over, he apparently wet himself. This booking photo was taken a short time later. He was placed in an anti-suicide smock. New York's Mayor Eric Adams made a call to Officer Fry to thank him.
And you just did a great job, heads up policing.
So who gets the $60,000 reward? And get this McDonald's in Altoona is under attack today, with trolls posting dozens of fake 1-star reviews. This location has rats in the kitchen that will make you sick and your insurance isn't going to cover it, goes one. On social media, some are calling Mangione a hero to all those wronged by health insurance companies. The hashtag #FreeLuigi is going viral. But Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro is having none of it.
In some dark corners.
The Israeli military targeted at least 6 Syrian naval vessels in an attack on the Syrian port of Latakia. They're part of the over 250 strategic sites in Syria that Israel has targeted over the past few days.
Israel tonight unleashing a wave of devastating airstrikes across Syria, destroying its military bases and naval fleet. Officials say they want to prevent the fallen Assad regime's chemical weapons from falling into the hands of the Syrian rebels. New video showing the world Assad's life of luxury, a garage filled with rare Ferraris, Lamborghinis and Maseratis. While Assad stole his country's wealth, his people suffered extraordinary pain to keep him in power. We went inside Assad's killing machine, the notorious Sednaya prison, where thousands were sent and few ever emerged. Families trying to find out what happened to their loved ones. This man confronts me. My son was 15 when they took him. Where is he? We want to know, he cries. His boy was taken 11 years ago. Everyone here is missing someone. Inside, we see Syrians poring over lists of the detained, the first clues they've ever had to their loved one's fate. And underground. And in another room, a printing press. These families convinced bodies were crushed here for easier disposal. There's also an urgent search tonight for American journalist Austin Tice, kidnapped near Damascus 12 years ago. The US is now trying to check all of Syria's prisons and safe houses, hoping to find him alive.
French President Emmanuel Macron is expected to name a new Prime Minister after the recent ousting of Prime Minister Michel Barnier. Macron faces pressure to create a broad political alliance that can avoid further instability, but disagreement remains over the candidate, with left-wing parties demanding a Prime Minister from their ranks.
It's been a week since a historic no-confidence vote ousted Michel Barnier as France's Prime Minister. President Emmanuel Macron is under huge pressure to find a Prime Minister that can pass a budget for 2025. To that end, he has been meeting with representatives from across the political spectrum, with the notable exceptions of both the far left and the far right, two parties who had led the charge to force out Barnier. Macron is said to be considering two options. The first would be to cobble together a broad alliance where socialists, Greens, and communists would join the government with centrists and conservatives. The second would be to make a deal with the left so that they commit not to vote another no-confidence motion, despite not being among the governing parties. In one sign of tentative progress, the left has offered not to use Article 49.3 of the Constitution to force through legislation without a vote, should one of its members be chosen to be Prime Minister. But regardless of whom is chosen, governing will not be easy with a parliament with no majority and parties so far unwilling to find common ground.
Federal prosecutors charged 2 prominent real estate brokers and their brother in a sex trafficking scheme. Tal, Arain, and Alon Alexander, top real estate brokers and brothers, were arrested yesterday morning, according to a spokesperson from the FBI's New York field office.
Prominent luxury realtors Oren Tal and their brother Alon Alexander arrested on federal sex trafficking charges, allegedly spanning more than a decade. According to the indictment, the brothers arranged the sexual assaults in advance, at times using dating apps or social media to promise luxury experiences, international travel, and accommodations to lure and entice women to locations. Accusers telling police the Alexanders allegedly held them down and ignored screams and explicit requests to stop. They were arrested early this morning, our Miami affiliate WPLG capturing two of the brothers being booked. The Alexanders began their careers at Douglas Elliman, focusing on real estate in New York and Miami.
And now let's take a short commercial break. More world news on the other side. And welcome back. Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez were nominated for Golden Globes Awards in the Best Supporting Actress categories. Grande earned a nod for Wicked, while Gomez was nominated for her role in Emilia Paris.
It's Ariana Grande versus Selena Gomez. The powerhouse pop stars were just nominated for Golden Globes Awards in the Best Supporting Actress category.
Ariana Grande.
Ariana earned a nod for Wicked.
Selena Gomez.
Selena for her role in Emilia Paris, a Mexican cartel musical streaming on Netflix, which received 10 nominations. A shocked Selena woke up to the news.
This year you have Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez in Supporting Actress. They're both going to go head to head. It's the battle of the pop stars.
The blockbuster film Wicked earned 4 nominations, including Cynthia Erivo's nomination for Best Actress. Pamela Anderson received her first ever Golden Globes nomination for Best Actress in the film The Last Showgirl.
Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl.
And finally tonight, you may look at a leaf and see just that, a leaf, but this Japanese artist sees a work of art trying to emerge.
Japanese artist Lido saw a frog holding an umbrella in this leaf. He says he's always seen things differently. Initially, I was trying to move along the track in front of me to fit in, and I didn't even think of doing something different. But thanks to the ADHD diagnosis, I realized that I cannot reach the same results, even if I work hard like others. But his chosen canvas isn't easy to work with. Not only are they small, leaves dry out and crumble after they've fallen. He treats them with a chemical solution and then gets to work with his knife to cut and shape his vision for that leaf. Leaf cutting also demands attention to detail. I've been exploring different methods, but the core value has always been to keep at it patiently. He says his art gives him a bigger purpose than he has ever felt working ordinary jobs. He also says that his driving force is to make people happy with his unusual art.
And with that, we wrap up today's bulletin. We'll be back with the latest updates from around the world tomorrow. But until then, stay tuned as we've got Sanvi Mudanaka joining you next on the Nightly Business Report. Thank you for watching and have a good night.